our experience from practice or the practice of alternative medicine, especially what is called prophetic medicine. And we learn some of these things from what we have encountered from some of our patients, and how we have been able to handle their cases, and how we have been able to record successful healings of infertility. Now, infertility in our own definition, for example, may be different from others. There are some key words that we emphasize. To us, infertility is defined as a woman's inability to be naturally pregnant after 12 months of regular, consistent, and unprotected coitus with a legitimate husband. That is underlined. In prophetic medicine, we don't attend to a patient that we have been trying out. We said, I should be pregnant before we solemnize. No, we don't attend to that. You understand? So with a legitimate husband solemnized, the challenge of infertility may occur in either of the couple. It may be the male or the female. It may be manifest in the two of them. Sometimes we have the couple. Both of them have the problem. And what is funny is that sometimes if it is spiritual, it may be one that had afflicted the other. Let me give you an example. For example, a woman who is having what is known as demonic infertility, and it becomes so chronic, and is married maybe as a second wife or third wife to a particular man. And this man had children from his first marriage. It is possible that when the man goes for medical tests, maybe in an attempt to resolve the infertility problem, they will say something is wrong. They may even be talking about low sperm count for the man. And you get confused that this man had given back to about 10 children before. This is possible. You understand? And may be manifest in the two of them. In some occasions, however, it may be unexplainable. This unexplainable, there is nothing wrong and everything. Waja'ala man yasha'u akima. The verse cited by Professor Ajara, wherein Allah says that Allah sometimes deliberately makes some people barren. And Professor Ajara has listed the wives of the prophet who never conceived for a day. In Islam, infertility is not a disease. It is not a disease from our own perception. And like she had rightly said, it's the society, stigmatization, and a kind of false alarm raised by the society that has made it an issue. We never heard that Aisha was found one day with her hand on her shin. They now said, what's wrong with you, mother of the believer? It's about this inability to conceive. You can imagine a young woman, a virgin, and in a polygamy. No hadith was reported that she was ever bothered. Akiman, naturally some people could be made. That's what they call unexplainable. The Orthodox medicine also talk about unexplainable, but our own explanation is Allah in action. And it's not compulsory that everybody must have a child. Infertility may also be primary or secondary. Primary, if the woman has never conceived. Secondary, the woman had once given birth. It now becomes difficult to conceive for the second child, and there is delayed conception. Now, causes of infertility. Now listen, these causes of infertility is discovered based on our experience. I've had a lot of experience treating infertility. Our experience with patients, this is what we know. It's not based on Professor Ajara's result of research, scientific research. What we have always listened to, what we have always seen, we also engage medical tests and all those things. And what are the explanations? Many factors may be accountable for infertility in a man or woman, but in the scope of Islamic therapy, it can only be divided into three factors. Three factors. Number one is biophysiological. Number two is psychosatanic. Then number three is decreed sterility factors. What's the explanation? Let's start from biophysiological factors. This occurs in either the male or female infertility. It may also occur in both of them. either of them, maybe the husband and the wife, or both of them, depending on the biological factor or the physiological disorder diagnosed in a particular gender. For example, the biophysiological causes of infertility. Let me give you an example that we have always seen, that we have always had, that we have always attended to. In women, for example, changes in the menstrual cycle and ovulation. Ovulation may be a symptom of a disease related to infertility. When we hear that, we hear about the problem in menstrual cycle, I'm not ovulating, there is problem with my ovulation. Whenever people come, sometimes when people come for infertility, we hear such stories. And I'm going to explain how we normally handle them. Number 2 is, other symptoms include abnormal menstrual period, in which bleeding is usually complained to be heavier or lighter than usual. We have also heard about that. Those of you students of spiritual healing, you will know what we call abnormal menstruation when we talk about how to treat it. So also irregular periods, when the number of days in between each period varies each month. She did menstruation for 3 days or 4 days, then another month she did it, so it's not really predictable. That's what we call irregular or abnormal menstruation. I think abnormal menstruation, we have a term for it. Can anybody remind me? Sirun Nazif, right? Sirun Nazif. That's abnormal menstruation. Then painful periods, which also comes with back pain, pelvic pain, and cramping. These are experiences we have always had. Then sometimes no menstrual period at all. I've not been menstruating. We normally have 2 examples. For example, someone will say, when I had so thing, they were doing evacuation, and since the day they did evacuation, I've never menstruated. We have asked such cases. Someone will say, I had miscarriage, or something, a lot of things like that. Or some people, not about miscarriage, not about any tampering with the womb, they are just not menstruating. Oftentimes, female infertility may also be caused by an underlying medical condition. That one is confirmed to be medical. All the ones I've mentioned, they can be medical and they can be spiritual. But there are some that are specifically medical, that damages the fallopian tubes, interferes with ovulation, or causes hormonal complications. These medical conditions include pelvic inflammatory disease. We've had that, and result of tests have confirmed premature ovarian failure and uterine fibroid. We have always had all these things. But in our own case, we have seen cases, we do not, sometimes some people get alarmed, they say, she has fibroid, that's why she has not conceived. We have seen those who have fibroid, when it is not so huge, and they have conceived. The way of treating fibroid with us, fibroid to us, because of where it is situated, is very delicate. And this is a warning for some of our people who just go on to give patients anything to drink so that she can give birth to fibroid. They will say she will give birth to it, or it will break it. A lot of dangers have been encountered in this process. I'm still coming to that. Still on biophysiological factors. As for the biophysiological causes of male fertility, I've just talked about female, the one we know. Now in male, what we have always seen it, they include but not limited to the following. 1, sperm disorder, which is when sperm may be immature, abnormally shaped, or unable to swim. In some cases, the patient may also not have enough sperm or may not even be able to make it. There is none of these cases that I personally have not encountered, or some of my students have encountered. They have brought it and we have looked into it and we have found a way around it. That is structural problems also, through which anything that blocks the genital tract hinders the flow of semen. Other factors may also include erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation. Do you know that all of these may have scientific explanation, but also they may equally have spiritual explanations? Some of these things have been treated medically by orthodox medicine. We have also had experiences when they are treated spiritually. And there are times we treat the physiology of this thing, but not spiritually. That's when we use the process of ijama or herbal medicine to resolve them. Now, that is one. The second factor is psychosatanic factors. Why did I call it psychosatanic? You will get to understand it. The first one is jinnscraft. It is real. We know there are jinn. All Muslims must believe there are jinns. They are invisible. So when they say craft, when you do art and crafts in school, when you try to do basket, you weave it. When you try to dark, to color a white thing, all those things are craft. So craft is like changing from the original, from the authentic thing to something else. So jin's craft, and that's what jinn does through sihr. They manipulate. This is usually by the manipulation of jinni through demonic possession. Let me quickly explain. Let me explain this. What do we call jinn? So please add to your knowledge. Jinns are those creatures. When they say Jannah. Jannah means it is hidden. Something hidden. Is from the same source with Jannat. When they say Al-Jannah, Jannah is a garden. It is fenced round. And there are some things. You can't see what is inside. So Jannah is something that is not apparent, hidden. That is the nature of the jinn. Now, the Muslim jinn, they are called jinn. But the jinns that are not Muslims, they are rather in plural form called shayateen. We don't normally use ordinary jinn for them. Those are the ones they call demons. That's the plural. And their singular is a shaitan, a demon. So, shayateen, demons. A shaitan, a demon. So, those Muslim jinn, they are not demons. Muslims jinn, the righteous jinn, they are not demons. They are rather shayateen. So, that's why when we talk about jinn possession, it's different from talking about demonic possession. Demonic possession is that someone is possessed by a wicked, ungodly jinn. Demonic. So demonic possession is when a jinn is living inside one's body. Or affliction, the jinn had come to afflict the person and had run away. Or sorcery, someone sent a jinn to go and disrupt someone's life. They evoke it through an errant jinn. Or demonic gaze. That's when a certain jinn admires or envies a human being and afflict the human being with his envious gaze, eyes, just like the evil eye. Do you understand it now? Now, infertility may result in either a man or woman, that is, from any of the jinn's craft effects. It is normally called demonic infertility. What has caused it is shaitan. Either because they send an attack to the person, or because the jinn voluntarily goes to enter the person's body. And in this case, when a jinn voluntarily enters someone's body, there is another thing I quickly need to explain. For therapists, you were taught different types of jinn. They talk about jinn al-ashik, jinn al-makabir, jinn al-tayyar, jinn al-gawas. This does not mean that there are different types of jinn. Jinns are just the same. But this thing, jinn they are talking about, they use the name, the adjective. This is a romantic jinn or lustful jinn. This is a graveyard jinn. They use the adjective to describe the habitual character of that particular jinn. I don't know if I'm talking. So, you may see someone that is diagnosed to have symptoms of jinn ashik. He may also be having symptoms of jinn al-makabir. Don't be confused. It's just like human being. There is a human, all of us, we are human being. There's a particular Mr. Michael that is very promiscuous. Mr. Michael is very promiscuous. This Mr. Michael, and there is another Mr. Samuel that likes going to the club. So because he likes going to the club, we say Mr. Michael or Samuel is a clubbing person. Mr. Michael is a promiscuous person. It doesn't mean that Mr. Michael can also be an armed robber. Are you with me? So that's the explanation. And this will help you in diagnosis. Then eye affliction. That's another thing. This is a mysterious affliction which occurs with the effect of envy or admiration carelessly emitted by a human being. It is another mystery that comes with a sundry of evils, among which is infertility. A mere envy, evil eye, can cause infertility. This one does not involve any manipulation of anything. It may be on your wedding day. Someone just admires you, just envies you, and wahala started. Or someone just sees you. Let me give you even it can obstruct pregnancy. Evil eye. Then you come here now then you are here and you are having about 4 of your children. Then you are carrying the 4 of them. They are coming and everybody's, Jack, congratulations, may Allah ease you. Thank you. And your children are roaming around it. And Ajia had never, the people greeting among them, some people have never conceived for a second. What they are crying for is to have a baby. And here are your brilliant children, and they are very precocious. Lukman. Jami, what are you sitting down for? Look at the water. The water has poured. Evil eye effects. Some people have not drunk water today. They saw that they gave me water and they felt there is something with evil eye. Fear Allah. So now, you get it. This happens. And do you know the proof in the Quran? Quran clearly states it in Surah to Yusuf. When the children of Yaqub, when they were going to Egypt to meet, all the children, about how many of them? 11 or? And they were going. As they were leaving home, Prophet Yaqub told them, he said, do not enter through a single door. Do not enter Egypt, the gate of Egypt, through a single door. That you should, when you are close to Egypt, scatter yourself. Let some people enter from here. Some people enter from here. The Mufassir Ibn Kathir said, he advised them so as to prevent them from the affliction of evil eye. But because these were handsome 11 children of the same father, as they were going and they look alike, there are people who say, hey, it's one person that are giving birth to all these children, they may afflict them. Their father now said, enter through different doors. It's in the Quran, Surah to Yusuf. I don't want to be citing verses because I'm on a speed to meet up with the time. So if this could happen, that means that parading your children and parading your achievements can result in a huge disaster. So the same thing happens. So evil eye can cause infertility. This one does not involve manipulation of gencraft. It's just a mere, if the person that envies you does not mean evil. The one that admires you does not mean evil. Then the next one is what? Psychogenic effect. Psychogenic effect is part of psychosatanic factors. This is what originates from the brain instead of other physical organs. The cause is therefore psychological rather than physiological, and it may be influenced by satanic effects. Wallahi, we have seen cases when a woman complains of infertility and nothing is actually wrong with her. Nothing whatsoever is actually wrong with her. But the only thing that is wrong with her is worry and anxiety. We have attended to such cases, and she find it difficult, just like the professor said, that the major problem, the stigmatization, I want to be pregnant. You can imagine, when a woman is always watching out for the end of the month, if the menstruation will come, the newlywed, you understand, or will not come, two things will happen. A sense of worry, psychogenic, may prevent the conception. Then another thing is, she may afflict herself with evil eye. Yes, it happens. One afflicts himself with evil eye. When you start, I've seen someone that, because she is so beautiful, and she said she normally goes before a mirror before she goes out, and she will be looking at herself and be saying, oh God, you have created me so wonderful. And she started smelling. Wallah, she started smelling, and she started losing her beauty. You may afflict yourself with that's when you remember some good things about yourself, quickly say Masha Allah la quwwata illa billah. So psychogenic, and all these something, you see, Quran let's make it known to us that fear is easily manipulated by shaitan. Fear, anything that starts to do with fear, shaitan yukhawifu awliya'ahu, that this is the devil, yukhawifu awliya'ahu. It causes fear for his own people, someone it had possessed. So for that reason, when you worry too much, and that one of the therapy we normally use is that someone we are treating, and we have ruled out all the cases of orthodox complications. We just say, shift your mind away from it. Stop anticipating pregnancy. You understand? Downplay it. When you downplay it, we continue our treatment. Suddenly, because you see, the rahmah of Allah, the mercy of Allah, Allah brings it with surprise. But when you have hung your thoughts to it, cause. Thank you. Then, the gender victims of psycho-satanic factors is predominantly the female. This psycho-satanic factor, in most cases, is predominantly the female. It may also be male, and sometimes the couple, either by coincidence or spiritual transmission. When a female has it, this has always happened. And as you are, there is one word with which Allah describes shaitan that we normally underplay. And when you want to confront shaitan, you must be conscious of that particular word. It's the only weapon possessed by shaitan. Shaitan does not have power. Shaitan does not have weapon. Does not have anything. Only one weapon. Quran did not describe shaitan with anything. Quran only described him with kaid. Wakana kaidu shaitan. And Quran says even that kaid is weak. But kaid is the only thing shaitan, the control is having over human race. Is kaid. I don't know the best English word to use for kaid. Kaid is trick. Right? Trick. Ustaz Sirajuddin. Trick. Now, among the meanings, according to Ustaz, here is a PhD student in Arabic literature, is trick, deception, right? And trick, manipulation. Quran never described shaitan with power. And that even trick, Quran also makes it known to us that some people have greater trick. They can still manipulate shaitan if they want to, and those are women. Inna kaida kunna. Quran says, Wakana kaidu shaitan, that the kaid of shaitan is weak. But he said, but for women, inna kaida kunna adim, your own kaid is very big and strong. Can you imagine? Masters of the devil. Except my mother. And the female lecturers of my institute. And my daughters. I will not add my wife. Except if my wife, if they can marry new wife for me, I will remove him from the... if they will not, I will not act. But those people, may Allah rectify our affairs. So what I am saying is, Kaid, you understand? So, if you want to battle shaitan and defeat him, you must be conscious of this. And that is why a woman is possessed, is treating demonic infertility, and they are just going and coming, and it's actually a case of demonic infertility. And they are finding explanation. You know, when demonic infertility will come, the first thing it's going to do is that it must create a manifestation of a physiological problem. And that's what you'll be pursuing. So, why is it that we have had women that they conduct medical tests and they confirm that they have a certain medical issue, and we applied our own spiritual solution, and without deliberately resolving the medical something, and they get pregnant? What do you think would have happened? That is one of the kaid of shaitan. You know, kaid is al-harbu qudwa. You disguise. But at the same time, someone may actually have medical problem. Are you with me now? Without any spiritual. And there will be similar explanations. There is a way through which we look into that. And there can also be spiritual transmission. Now, therapeutic remedies, efficacies, and challenges. Now, we cannot deny the efficacy of prophetic medicine in resolving infertility or any other ailment. The International Institute of Islamic Therapy, Nigeria, is indeed rich in multiple experience of successful healings. However, it has become so difficult to convince those who are desperate for solutions that shirk is no option. Do you know why we find it difficult to manage problem of infertility? I want you to note this. Wallahi, if this one is not resolved, there's nothing you can do. Someone is coming for, I'm talking about someone who has spiritual problems, psycho-satanic, is coming for infertility issue and has gone to places, has really eaten from the devil, has swallowed and bathed himself from the soup of the devil. There is nothing he has not used. And you are just coming with all this, you are doing Quranic manipulation. The more someone visits Boka, the more he drinks, he eats, the more he uses, the more the devil enjoys further conquest on his life. Oh, you understand? Because it's something we continue to be solid. Maybe the problem was here. As she was going around, and people really go around. I have attended to a woman that among the things they used for her as concussion was faces, cheeks of babies. They gathered and they use it as concussion, and they use it, the babies, to cook for her chicken, a day whole chicken. I have seen a woman also somewhere in Edo that came for me, that before she came, they have asked her to dance around the marketplace with little children clapping behind her because she was in need of baby. Someone had gone so far, now coming to you for spiritual solution, and people want magic. Some people, it's even difficult to ask them to go and do tawbah, because when you see that, you can't even say it. And another problem we have is that people don't know the difference between us and the boka. Wallahi, they don't know, because in Africa, the only experience these are the only people they know doing spiritual things. So when they call, and we have a lot of problem. Another thing is that we know we are proudly herbalists, but the meaning of herbalist is really scary. Do you understand? Wallahi is a serious problem. Sometimes, you know what I do? After, many people don't know. Many of my students wonder why I've rather concentrated my life on doing my business. Wallahi. Because at a point, I don't know how to go about it. Unless you want to start telling people lies. People will ask you, Abu Mazida, You can become a billionaire with what Allah has given you, but the terrain is not clear. The coast is not clear. Are you with me? هذه مشكلة. So now, in Islamic therapy, especially in the specific area of prophetic medicine or Islamic medicine, the treatment of infertility in males and females are varying in their associated risk. Note this, risk. I'm coming to that. Intensity and invasiveness, which depend on the duration. How do you want to go? For how long? Cause. You have to identify, is it a problem for orthodox medicine? If it's for orthodox medicine, do not go into it and don't deceive the patient. Or it's for your own. Is it spiritual or something that can be handled with herbal medicine? Cause. Age. The age of the person that is coming. Sometimes gene lives in someone's body and the person had reached the age of 48. Even after you are able to remove the gene, maybe the person is unable to secure his spouse. How will the person secure his spouse at 48? Especially if the person knows how to put condition. I want monogamy. I don't want to marry someone who is married. Or on the other hand, you are able to break demonic infertility when someone is at 47. You know, biophysiological at coming. Some challenges. You understand? Then you start hearing, actually my menstruation is not stable anymore. And the person believes that is in the presence of a magician that must make her pregnant immediately. These are issues. And personal preferences. Now, therapeutic remedies again. Meanwhile, the physical, financial, and time commitment are the required factors for an effective treatment of infertility. Financial is expensive. Professor said one thing the other time. Professor said IVF is expensive. Wallahi, treating infertility, spiritual, is even more expensive. The IVF, is it not 2 million or 3 million? Is more expensive. By the time I come to treatment, the real treatment, you will know how expensive it is. And when people come to a practitioner of alternative medicine, they believe that, what do they want? How much do they sell leaves? And it's far more than that. Now, because I'm not Professor Ajara, okay. And time commitment, you must give time. It's not the thing you come, we talk, we give you, see, you go. We don't hear from you again. You have gone to another person. As you come to me, you go to Boca because you feel we look alike. That's not the situation. May Allah help us. Many alternative and complementary medicine practitioners are unreliable. That's another thing. Wallahi, people don't know solution to many things you take to them. But Nigeria has put pressure on people. Economic pressure. People must pay school fees now. What are you saying? And to pay rent. 10 minutes. And there's no problem. That's why I said I'm not going to release my slide. You understand? Me, I don't have problem. Wallahi. I only pity those who are serious. Those who are serious, quote, among my students. The system is not regulated by the government. The scientific research is non-existent. It is therefore difficult to identify a safe haven for reliable treatment with alternative medicine. Now, how do we go about it? In the practice of Islamic therapy, therapeutic remedy of infertility can be found in 3 major areas of prophetic medicine: prophetic herbs, Islamic exorcism, and clinical hijama. Now, let me give you examples. For example, the herbs are taken by men and women who wish to increase their chances of conception, as well as by couples that are facing fertility problems. Herbal remedies for fertility can help to address fertility problem caused by. It is not always that when we treat infertility, that is spiritual we treat. We also treat what those orthodox people treat. Because herbs could resolve some of the problems. There are problems that herbs can never resolve. For example, hormonal imbalance. Herbs can resolve it. Irregular menstruation. Herbs, in fact, that one is consistent. Herbs can resolve it. Irregular menstruation. It doesn't have menstruation at all. Just get herbal to mur. You don't need anything. Put herbal to soda and put honey. Do you understand? And I have limited time. Erectile dysfunction. Herbs can resolve it. Sperm motility problem. Herbs can resolve it. You know, these are equally infertility problem, right? Now, there are natural and herbal treatment that can help fight the root causes of infertility and increase chances of getting pregnant. The first step is to address any underlying medical condition which may have contributed to the infertility problem. The following herbs are usually used for resolving infertility problem. Look at it. Can you see? This one had been done on a number of occasions. Herbs used for the treatment. And I will tell you, this is more for okay. Hey, you want to give me bad name? Look at it. Depending on the problem, these scientific names, these Arabic names, these are all prophetic medicine. Sherry in 100 ml goat milk for 3 hours should be given after each meal. Do you understand? Samaria giant fennel, fruit, you understand? You get it now, 20 grams of the powder seed. Soak one night, that is overnight, in olive oil. The mixture to be taken 3 times daily during the menstrual period. That's by infusion. Marmiya. You know marmiya? Sage. You were taught in class, they call it moromiya. That is the plural. But the singular is marmiya. Sage. Fruit. The fruit, 50 grams, crushed. Soak overnight in water. Use as vaginal douche twice daily. Infusion. Rosemary. Leaves boil. I think you are seeing it. Because I'm working against the 10 minutes. This is still for, the first one is female infertility. And it's still female infertility now. Date palm, fruit. Boil date fruit in 50 ml of water and make the solution with equal quantity of olive oil and honey to be taken twice. This is the decoction. Look at fenugreek. Look at maca. Do you see maca? Powder. You know maca root? Do you know maca root? Mix 1 teaspoon of maca in cow milk and drink twice daily. Do you understand? Powder. Then this is for female infertility and it has worked. This is for male infertility. Tamar. You understand? Can you see? I don't know how it is reasonable for me to continue to explain this. You remember Jirjir? How many of you was in the class of Arugula? Arugula, who is sitting there? Ajay Alima. I think it was in your set that we treated the herb Arugula. You understand? It's one of the herbs treated in that class. You remember Arugula? Boil 50 grams of the seed in 100 ml water for 10 minutes. About 20 ml. Some of these things, they are, you know, when these Arabs say something is mujarrab, they are what have been tested, they have worked. There are times that you use some of these things simultaneously. Look at this, zenjabil. Some of them, during, you get it now. Now, let me now explain some things here. Special herbal recipe for sexual performance in male. I have to rush some of these things. These are some of these things that are very active. I hope I'm still within the time. Thank you, sir. The recipe number 1. Take a bottle. Mix a handful of cloves. You know cloves? Ginger and onions. Leave to macerate for 5 days in the dark. Why did they say in the dark? Can anybody tell me why they specify it is in the dark? fi dhulumatil ghurfa. That's what scholars say. It is believed that the darkness will reduce the temperature of the room. That's what they believe. Now, have a drink each morning and evening and you will see the capacity. Look for, as ingredient, 25 grams of fresh crushed ginger. You see this one, 25 of ginseng, clove, 3 liters of water, juice. Look at all the preparation, instruction for use. Mix all the ingredients and let ferment for 3 days. You will leave it and you will allow it to ferment. Leave it, don't touch it for 3 days. That 3 days they say should be 24 hours times 3. That is 72 hours. Drink 1 medium glass every night before going to bed. This portion is important for those who want to increase the quantity of semen. So simple. It has worked. I'm not talking about those ones whose semen or sperm is completely dead. You understand? That's another thing. There is one thing here. Look at this thing they call ashwagandha. Do you know ashwagandha? Powder of ashwagandha. Take 1/4 between 1/4 and half teaspoon of the root powder, along with ghee and honey twice daily for a month, or mix the same quantity in a glass of warm water to improve sperm quality. And these are very much effective. Clinical ijama. How many minutes do I still have? 2 minutes. So since it remains 2 minutes, you understand? And this is ijama, clinical ijama. I want to announce to this congregation that, to the glory of Allah, personally, I have treated patients of infertility with ijama consistently, and I've gotten results. And alhamdulillah, one of those patients is here present, listening to me. Nothing but ijama. You understand? And but we normally tell people it depends on the fertility. You know, there are many causes. Don't say they just say someone has not given birth and you bring out cup, you start pumping. No. There are some that even does not require the attention of alternative medicine. Now look at, you see it now, the ijama points of infertility. Can you see? I may not have to explain much. Can you see it now? Can you see it? Can you see? Because time is really against me. The best time to cook for infertility. Can you see? Psychospiritual therapy. I still have a lot to say, but I have to end here. But I will just take it to do you understand? Psycho-spiritual therapy, lifestyle adjustment, Quranic therapy. You understand? Satan-induced miscarriage, how you go about it. The spell of infertility, the Quranic therapy. You see it now? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.